Well, for some reason we lost the picture on the first one. So I've opened the second stream. Anyway, as I was saying, back to this two-bill. It does have a DCC 8-pin socket. It's a Hornby model, but they've left absolutely no room for anything much. I've got it crammed in here, and that's a decoder and a speaker and a stay alive, a big stay alive. I'm not sure why it needs a big stay alive, but I'll probably learn sooner or later. I managed to get a driver in it. And it runs pretty sweet. The other thing I've been doing let's move the two-bill out of here a little bit. Perhaps you'll be able to see it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there are, I put some LEDs under the track with a, boy, that thing doesn't look good. It does not look good. It was sounding funny yesterday. I don't know what on earth is the matter. It looks, oh, maybe that's it. I guess I should let you see what I'm doing here. It was humped up in the middle for some reason. Okay. Got to move the camera a little bit to get behind it. I'm going to move it forward. Perhaps you'll be able to see this. If the train will run. Oh, I see what's happened. Okay, well, that'll be something to talk about too. The wheels are spinning. We'll have to take this off and fix it. One of my magnets has fallen down. The magnets operate the now we have to put it back on. Well, at least I know what it is now. It was that magnet had fallen down and wouldn't let it move. Now we have to get it back on the track. Always exciting. Always more difficult on a curve, isn't it? Aha, success. Okay. No, I want to go the other way. Let's see how well this camera does in low light. No, it's not a bad picture. Now, if you watch it as it comes by right here, you should see some flashes. So if you saw that, those LEDs flash on and off a couple of times, and that's done with a magnetic reed switch underneath the table, an LED that just pokes through. You can't really see them. There's one here and there's one here. And a magnet under the train. So when the train goes by, it closes the circuit on those magnetic reed switches and flashes, because it's not closed very long with the train going by, and flashes those LEDs. Now, hopefully you saw that. We go turn the lights back up. I'm camped over here. Mark Arnold, hi. Yeah, the stream crashed. Has a murder taken place? Hello, Rob from Columbia. Hi, Juan. David Atkins. Hi, Rob. We talked before it crashed. Anthony, how you doing? I'm good. Can't do that easily in N-Scale. Mark, I'm not sure what you mean. The flashing lights or putting it back on the track. It is very difficult to put it on the track, it's true. I'm Medway. Yeah, everyone is well. You know, it's crazy, this coronavirus thing. Let me turn this around a little bit. I think it's still level, is it? No, it's a little bit off. This camera's supposed to do better than that. This coronavirus thing is crazy here. I don't know what it's like where you are, but we were at the grocery store last night picking up a few things, and lo and behold, there were all the paper products were sold out. The tissue and paper towels, everything. What? What does that have to do with anything? I don't get it. A shortage of paper towels? No. I've been to the paper plants. There's plenty of they got plenty of logs ready to go. You know, that just fire it up, and they've got lines that are sleeping, and they can turn them on at any time. So I'm not too worried about a shortage of paper. Okay, see you, David. Sunny British Columbia. Yeah, it's sunny here today. It's supposed to be very warm. I don't know what that translates into in Celsius, but it's going to be 70 today, which is amazing. It's, my daughter has signed on here. Juju RN40. Hello, Julie. This is not level and it's driving me crazy. So just give me a minute here. I think I've moved it. That's why. That should be better. Yeah, why would there be a shortage of paper products of all kinds? I don't get it. It's the goofiest thing I ever heard of. Anyway, I'm not worried about it. I'm busy. Getting that, it took me 3 days finally to get that two-bill running the way I wanted it to, because it was so crowded, and the kit I got from U-Choose, although I got all the help in the world that I needed, it was very difficult for me because it was unfamiliar territories, stuff I've never come across before. there were these tantalum, they're called tantalum capacitors or condensers in the Stay Alive. And there was a little circuit, and I was supposed to solder these things on this circuit. Well, I didn't have the technique down on the first three, so they looked horrible. But on the last one, I finally figured out how to solder them on. And it was easy once I figured out how. Also, I was required to solder on the decoder, and it was a mini decoder, not the full-size decoders. It was a real tiny one, and I managed to get it done, but I'm really not comfortable doing that. I'm a little bit too old. My handshake's a little bit too much for it because the tolerance is pretty darn tiny, and if you gob that solder around, you've hooked everything else up together before you know it if you're not careful. On the two-bill, because you can see the wiring, everything is stuffed into the compartment, the first compartment. I'll just take some black paper and stuff it up in there and block it off so you can't see it's just black in there. And that really won't attract that much attention because the other end is black too. Let's take a look at that. Let's back up to two-bill. Well, actually, in this case, I'm running it forward. The exterior details on it are really quite nice. Guards compartment, all the cables in the front of it. Make sure you can see that. Yeah. So this compartment over here is just stuffed full of wires and gadgets and all the whatever goes in there. And I'll just slide some black paper down between the wiring and the. Not that anybody's going to get up close and look at it. Maybe I should just relax and just let it be. But this model has no lights. So I had to add lights too. And I kind of like the yellow. Used Clapton tape or Captain tape, I guess it's called, over the LEDs to make them yellow. And I've got a roll of that stuff now. And I intend to use it in more places than one. You know, it's, I guess, John over there at YouTube thought it would be interesting. You know, back in the day, they were all smoking. So I'll make it yellow so that, you know, all the tar and everything from the cigarettes all accumulated on the lights. Younger people don't remember those days. I remember it clearly. And it was an awful thing when everybody was smoking indoors. Okay, what else we got here? Anthony's asking me hi, David. David Atkins, how are you doing? I think David left. He had a doctor's appointment, he said. Crazy in the UK too. Panic buying of toilet tissue. Why? Well, hand sanitizer, I can understand. They were sold out of hand sanitizer here 3 weeks ago. And you just can't get it. We have a tiny little bit, but hey, just wash your hands. I think, that does it pretty good. Or we do have, and I noticed IPA 99.9. I don't know what IPA is. Huh. $23 a bottle. Is that alcohol? What's next for the layout? Well, you know, I'm working on my crane over here. That's been a very long project. Got a wire snag there. I got the GBRF on there, Great Britain Rail Freight. It's on the other side too. And I have some additional transfers that can go on the sides of the crane on that side. I got started building the grab that's going to pick these up. And I realized I only had 2 pulleys. You know, I'd been thinking all along, oh, I'll just put those in the middle and lift it up like that. But that's not going to work because you'd have to get everything absolutely balanced for it to work. So I've ordered 4 more little tiny pulleys to incorporate it in the grab. And I'll just wrap those. I'm going to use heavy duty coat thread, basically black coat thread for the wires. And the wires will be dead ended up on the top and come down through these pulleys and then up to the drum on the winch. So they'll go up fairly slowly. As you know, I geared the motor down. The motor had a gear motor in it, but it was still way too fast for what I wanted to do. So I geared that down to about 1/4 of the output speed of the motor, which is about right. The drum is very small. It's only about that big. Well, I'll go get it. There's some gearing in here which slows down the output of the motor. Yeah, I realize that the frame is kind of cocked from the trolleys. Well, you know, I wasn't really sure what I was doing in the beginning, and I kind of got off to a bad start. And then I didn't have a drill long enough to do a line bore all the way through. And I have to go through three bearing points. And so anyway, it doesn't matter because it all gets covered up with the house. But yeah, I'll dead end those cables up here somewhere, and then down around the sheave and back up and around the hoist drum. Anybody guess what these hoist drums are made out of? This is not for kids. Kids, if you're watching this, turn it off right now. And okay, they're gone. Anybody know what those tubes are? Take a guess. You'd never guess. Other projects. Well, you know, the layout's kind of done. I added the apartment building over there. I've still got a little work to do on it. I can't get excited about doing a big yard for the engine shed and the diesel maintenance building. Just can't get excited about it. And so it'll probably never happen. The other thing I think I'm going to be doing soon is I'm going to get out my N-scale stuff and I'm going to build a small mini layout. I don't know whether you remember or not, but I used to have a little series of the Colorado Northwestern, and I had a little locomotive chugging across the screen at the beginning. I think I'd like to get my N-scale locomotives and rolling stock out and run them. It's been a long time, and I really like them. They're all USA stuff. They're all American stuff. I also need to get the water into my harbor. So I'll have to make sure that board is absolutely level and shim it or whatever I have to do. I'll turn around so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'll have to make sure that this is absolutely level. And then I'll have to build a little rim waterproof barrier around the outside, probably with tape. Might be something else. And then I'm going to put realistic water in it. I'll probably do a little painting on the bottom. Probably try to shade it deeper and deeper going over here to the outside. Not a lot deeper. It's not going to get black or anything, but shade it out a little bit so that there's a little bit more depth. And then fill it with realistic water. It'll be an exciting day when I get around to that. I need to get this crane done first, though. And that seems to be a very long-term project. A slow-going and long-term project. That's not quite on there right, but we won't worry about it for now. Other than that, I can't really imagine anything. I'm planning on getting another Fowler vehicle, you know, at some point when I can afford it. I just bought a truck, and that sort of took all my available cash for a while. I think I can show you a picture of it. Let's get that up and going. Is that coming through? And that kind of took a lot of money. So funds for the layout are scarce at the moment. But that will come back. That will change. And eventually I'll be ready to do something else. At some point, I will tear this down and build a new one. And I'm not going to build, the next one I build will not be anything like this. It will be more of a big square with spots to pop up in, with a lot more scenery than I have now. Essentially, I ran the track around the edge of the boards this time, and which left me islands in the middle to build scenery. But the next one, I'm going to run the track down the middle of the scenery instead of along the edge of it. It doesn't really show over here because I've built onto it. So there's, it's not exactly at the edge, nor is it over here, not at the edge. But all of this is along the edge. And this 180 curve is at the edge. Got some Velcro on this wire. I'd release it. One of the major things I'm interested in doing while we're live here is, what would you like to see? What would you like to see me teach how to do? I'm not opposed to setting up, a temporary little mini table and doing whatever kind of work on it that you might be interested in. So I would really like to get a list of things that people would be interested in seeing. Wow. Nice stream, bro. I'm going to run some trains myself. Oh, cool. Oh, you like the series, Mark? You like the series on the little N scale? Yeah, that was fun. Well, you guys have projects going everywhere. I just don't have, there's no more space down here. And I've filled in every area that there is, except over there where the TMD would go and the steam shed. I do have a cloud I want to paint. Let me show you that. I know that some of you might be interested in these clouds, and a lot of you are not. But I've been planning a cloud and thinking about it. I'm hoping it looks something like that. That's the outline that I would like it to have. This is not filled in, it's just an outline. Were you able to see that okay? Yeah. So that would go on that wall over there. Right in the middle, basically. I'll also plan to paint some clouds down in there, but they won't be, I don't know what they're going to be yet. Let's put it that way. So I would like a lot of input on what you'd like to see in the way of how-to videos. Because I'd like to do some, but I don't really know for sure what to do. And I certainly want to do something that you sent or send me, whatever way there is, on the Farland Howe page on Facebook, or you can message me. And put them on this video, or go to another video, an old video, and put some on there. Go to my homepage. I mean, there's so many ways to get in touch with me. I did a little survey, and I got about 40 people that commented on it and said, and they were interested in more how-to videos. How do you do this, and how do you do that? And so if I knew which ones you were interested in, I know I did a little pond once, and I'm thinking in that kind of a style where we just do one little project, you know, not necessarily on the layout, but one little project. And hopefully not these giant projects like months of carving to make my castle or this crane, container crane, which will be very cool when it's done, but it is a long project. I have the switch built. Which I'll mount over there. And that will run the hoist up and down. I may come up with a way to get the crane to travel back and forth. There's probably a way to run some string down along and down underneath and to a servo motor, kind of like Graham did his elevator, and have that crane go back and forth so I can lift up, move back, and go down. I don't know, you know, it's just a thought. Not a for sure. So please, in closing here, I'm going to knock it off here. In closing, what would you like to see? What would you like to know how to do? What information do I have that you would be interested in learning? Because I'm willing to show you anything. There are no secrets. I have no secrets about what I do and how I do it or anything. I'm more than willing to allow anyone to know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. As far as laying track and designing a layout where trains will run without trouble, we can do that. I did inclines, but we could do one where we talk about designs and what to do and what absolutely do not do. So that you don't have trouble. You know, there's nothing worse than having a model train layout and having trouble with it, and it's no fun. It looks great, but you go to run a train and it runs off the track and here, and then it runs off the track there. And it won't go forward here and all that stuff. There's nothing more frustrating and disheartening really than a layout like that. And I think I can help you avoid doing that, making those mistakes, because it's very simple engineering. You have to follow the absolute rules. There's no, oh, I can get away with this. No, you can't. You can't get away with it. It won't work, and you'll have trouble with it, and you'll be disgusted that you did it in the end. And we can do that if you want. Scenery building, painting, we can do all those things. Just let me know what you would like to see, and then we'll do it. So that's about it for today. Carving rock. Yeah, that's a good one. How do you carve rock? Well, one of the ways you carve rock is you pour it in a mold. And you could get some pretty good looking rock that way. But we could get into that carving rock business and all the different ways to do it and the different products and things that are out there to help you. We can do that. That's one. Okay, guys. I hate to leave you like this, but I need input from everybody that's subscribed to this channel, and tell me what you would like to know. And I'll see you. Bye from Farland. Bye.